Guys, welcome back. It is your favorite Gimp with a Limp, and I'm here with a special treat for you all. Don't worry, I've got a big treat coming up very soon. Guesses that Gimpy's Gal did. We'll give you a preview of what that's going to be, but I'll give you a hint. It rhymes with sacred oil. Really looking forward to getting that one to the table for you guys. But I stumbled across something that caught my attention, and that is Panzer Strike, France, 1944, and this is the pocket edition. And the game came in this tiny ass little box right here. And part of the reason I was so excited about finding this is it's by, I hope I'm saying this right, because I'm pretty sure I'm not, Pre-Drag and Dragon here. Dragon. I'm going to call him Dragon because I would love to have a name Dragon. But it's by Forsage Games, right? They're the same people who did Age of Dogfights, World War I, World War II, so I really like their stuff, right? And I stumbled across it, and this is basically a little miniatures tank game. This one is the very small pocket edition, which obviously this is pocket. You can fit this in a pocket, no joke. But there was a bigger one they did a Kickstarter on, which unfortunately I have not been able to find a copy of. So I'm going to contact them and see if I can get a copy of the bigger one that has more fleshed out tanks. They're not just based on colors like we're going to see here in this game, and like actual physical terrain pieces and all that stuff. But I was so excited because this seemed like an interesting game for something that you could fit in just the palm of your hand. So I decided to get it and give it a shot. Now, when it comes to the rules of this game, they are not complex. Definitely not complex. The rules fit on this little sheet of paper, front and back. So we're not talking about the deepest tank miniatures combat game that you're ever going to come across. And I was worried that it might be a little too simplistic, but I gotta say, for as small as the game is, they did their best to pack in as much gameplay as they actually could. Now, obviously, the rules are kept simple, so they're easy to understand and something that you can just pull out, throw on the table, and play. One of the cool parts about this, the Pocket Edition, is the game actually comes with more than one map, even though it's only got these map tiles. So there, 12 map tiles that come with it, and they're front and back. So if you look here on this side, it shows you how to assemble the board. And as you can see, the board pieces connect to make an actual layout of the board. But you can do whatever layout you want. So this top is the front of the map pieces, and the bottom is the back of the map pieces. So that's two maps in and of itself, but you could adjust it wherever you want, okay? So I've got this top 3 rows set out. That's what you guys see on screen, but I could bump it down if I wanted to and do the second 2 rows and the top row of the south, right? And then going on down the line. So I can basically create multiple different layouts depending on what I want to do. It gives you a lot of map with a small amount of tiles. I really like this, and that's what I like seeing with smaller companies is they innovate. They try new things and see how it works. Most games like this, in this size, would give you a paper map, maybe 2, and leave you to your own devices. This instead went with tiles that gave me multiple options for different types of configurations. I really got to give them props on that one. And they're relatively thick. I mean, they're not thick. I'll go ahead and pick one up here. But they're that thick. They're thick enough to be an actual tile. Okay, and as you can see, there it is, front and back. But they're definitely thick enough to be a tile. All right, you get what I'm saying? We're not talking about, full production, thick counter type, but thick enough that you don't have to worry about breaking them, just setting them down on the table. They're not going to tear or anything like that. Now, when it comes to the miniatures, obviously these little miniatures are little, just tiny baby tank counter miniatures. My wife was chuckling. She thought they looked like Pez with turrets, which I gotta give her props. They probably do look like Pez with turrets. But that's I think one of the things this game was going for was cheap and simplistic That way you could get a low cost game, but actually have a decent amount of play in it. And the fact that you get a bag full of these little tank minis, and the colors represent what they are. So just to give an example of what I've got laid out here, in the rules, they show you the little chart. Let me show you here on the back. Just heavy, medium, and light, right? And those are the stats, which we'll cover here in just a sec. But they also include a couple of tables, B and C here, that go with tanks that we're used to, like Tigers and Panzers, Churchills, Shermans. And then we've also got Tiger 2s and Panthers, Jumbos, Fireflies, Hellcats. A lot of cool stuff, and that changes the stats up for the vehicles. So if you're looking at it, they've actually packed in a lot of vehicles in a small box by having the different colors. So each side has 3 different colors. We got yellow, orange, and red for the bad guys, I guess we would say. And then green, blue, and purple for the good guys, or the allied forces. Now, depending on what color it is, determines what type of tank it's going to be. We're going to use this B table for this game. So our light tanks are going to be yellow and green. Medium tanks are going to be orange and blue. And heavy tanks are going to be red and purple. And if you look to our right, that shows their point cost. Simple, 1, 2, 3. You decide whatever point game you want to play. I wanted at least 5 tanks on the table, so this is a 9-point game. Couple of lights, couple of mediums, and a heavy for each side. And like I was talking about, there's stats for each one of these. They have speed, they have armor. And this one, I was actually kind of chuckling at the armor. I'm looking at like Tiger. Tiger's a heavy. It only got 10 on the front, but the Churchill got 15. I didn't think the Churchill had that level of heft to its frontal armor, but I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, that's what we're going with. But as you can see, we do have front, side, and rear armor. When we're looking at our tanks down on the table, it's basically a 90-degree angle coming out. So going at an angle from the front, anything that comes in along the side will hit the side, from the rear. And when you're looking at it, you're more likely to hit the side, because just laying this one out here. All right, I was looking for my laser. I couldn't find it, so I'll just use the little included ruler. But you'll draw at like a 45-degree angle, roughly, from the front on each side, giving you kind of like 90. But if a shot comes in and it splits that line, then it's going to be considered to the side. So you're more likely to hit the side than you are the front or the back. And just to show you guys, it does show a nice little picture in here in the rules book, the rules sheet, that shows you how that gets divided out. That lets you guys see a little bit easier on the square. You're basically drawing a line from the center of each square on out, and they can be pivoted at a 45-degree angle. They're pointed towards the corner. Same thing, you'll just draw a line out from each edge. But if a shot comes in directly from that edge, that's going to count towards the side. That's what I'm talking about. So all these little squares here will be considered side shots. So when we're looking at this tells us our stats that I was talking about. Speed, this, just think of it as whatever the number is shown on the die. If there's a modifier, it changes by that much. So heavier tanks will reduce their speed. Like this Tiger has a -2. That big number 5 would be the speed of it. So this one would actually be a speed of 3, which basically means 3 anything. You can pivot, and that costs a movement, or you can move forward. That costs a movement. You can move backwards, but it's only 1 square per turn period, no matter what amount of movement you're using. So you see the heavier tanks will have slower movement, and the lighter tanks will have faster movement. The medium tanks will have medium movement. They don't have modifier. The attack, I really think, is ingenious on how they came up with this. Because I was thinking of it when I was first looking, like, okay, well, how is the armor value going to be used, because there's no penetration values? Well, the gun firepower shows how many dice you roll when it comes to making your attack. When we're looking at our dice, that smaller red number is our firepower, okay? So the more dice you get to roll, the more firepower you have. You're going to add all those numbers together. It's real simplistic. When you're firing at an enemy tank, you need to measure the range. Couldn't find the ruler. It was on the side of my little dice tray. You need to measure the range with this little cute fold-out ruler just so it can fit in the box. I love that. That's kind of cute. Measures up to like 23 of these little squares. Whatever the distance is between the target and, you know, the shooter, that's the amount, and then you add to that the armor. Okay, so if they were a distance of 10 away firing at the front of a tiger, they're going to need to roll a 20 or better to destroy that tiger. Just that simple. So obviously the closer you get, the more likely it is you're going to penetrate, just like it would be in real life. You're going to hit with that much more force. You hit at the side or the rear, you don't have as much armor to penetrate. Obviously, when it comes to these light tanks, they barely have any armor on their side or the rear. Higher chance for them to get penetrated and get destroyed. There are some optional rules you can use in the game as far as damaging a tank. We're not going to use those in this little example game we're going to do here, but just understand they are there, and they've included these little yellow markers that you can put underneath your tank to signify the fact that it's damaged instead and won't be able to move. So we talk about move. How does a tank move? Well, that's simple. Depending on how many tanks are on the board determines how many dice that you're going to roll. Nice little dice table here shows us 1 to 4 active tanks, you roll 2 dice. 5 to 8, 3, 9 to 12, 4, and then 13 plus, you roll all 5 dice. And for each die that you roll, you can move that many tanks. So with this, we've got 5 on each side. We could roll 3 dice. Those 3 dice could be applied to 3 different tanks, and they could move whatever that big blue number is, plus or minus their modifier. That's it. Just that simple to understand. So you use big number for movement, small number when it comes to firing. I love how Forsage Games has stuff like this. Their dice are custom, so they can use them in multiple different ways, because they obviously can't have multiple dice included in a single game of this size. Plus, it saves them a little money by having the standard D6 layout, but they can change it up a little bit, because the movement, the smallest number you can roll is a 3, but when it comes to firepower, it goes up all the way to 6. So your dice will be numbered 1 to 6 as far as firepower, but movement, I think it's like 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but somewhere, the lowest you can roll on a movement is 3. And I did try to make sure and line these up so the opposite side of each die will equal 7, just like they're supposed to on a normal D6. And I'll tell you what, poking around at this has really made me want to try out their bigger, more fleshed out version of the game. Because if I like this one as much as I do, I'm really willing to bet I'll like the other one. All right, so let me stop talking about it, play it a little bit. We're not going to play through a whole game, but I'm going to play through a few rounds, let you guys see how the game's going to go. So we'll start with the left. We'll have the Nazis go first, just to make things simple. And they have 5 tanks. They get to roll 3 dice and apply them. Just that simple. We got a 4, 4, or a 4, a 5, and a 5. All right. We get to apply that to 3 tanks. We can't divide out the movement amongst all the tanks. We can move up to 3 tanks. We don't have to move them the full movement either, but we can pick and choose. We just can't go over 3 tanks moving. All right, well, since our heavy tank has a negative modifier, I will give him the bigger number, which I do tend to do to try to move him quicker. He's got a negative 2, so I'll move him up 3 squares. 1, 2, 3. Just that simple. Make sure you keep them pointed in the right direction, because like I said, it does matter if they're pointing at the corner or if they're pointing ahead. Now, also, you have to keep track of, when you're moving your guys, which ones have moved, because if they don't move, they can fire 360 degrees. If they do move, they can only fire 90 degrees, but it's 90 degrees in front. So they can fire either 90 degrees off to the left in front or 90 degrees off to the right in front. All right, so he's moved. We'll apply this to our light tank. Remember, he gets a +1. So that gives him 5 movement points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll apply this to our medium tank down here. And no modifier, so it's just a flat 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We'll just have them move there. And they can pivot in their spot if they want to. Maybe they want to turn their armor facing better so they're pointing towards the enemy, something like that. All right, roll for the allies. And they got a 4, 4, 6. All right, a little bit better. Unfortunately, our Churchill over here is slower than Snail Snot and has to do a -3. So I'm going to give him that 6. 1, 2, 3. So he will only move by 3 at most. Let's see, what else do we want to move? We'll move that medium there next to him. I think that's medium. Nope, that's a light. That's a medium. We'll move that light then. And he gets a +2, so he actually gets to go 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And no one's in range to shoot. Well, they're in range, but no one has a line of sight to perform a shot yet. This Tiger over here might have a shot on that little light tank on his next turn. So once I get done moving these tanks, I would have a chance to fire if I've got anyone in line of sight. We'll move this medium down here up by 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I could take any shots that I have. Right now, buildings are blocking line of sight. I think I might have line of sight towards, let's flip this around. You're going to put that little red marker right on top of your tank to measure it. And yes, I do have line of sight onto that Tiger, but unfortunately that Tiger is 21 spaces away and my light tank only fires 2 dice. So at best I can do is a 12. That's not going to work. I would have to get right up on top of him to be able to penetrate him. He's not going to need that to penetrate me. All right, let's go to their turn again. See what they get going on. Ooh, low rolls. 5 and a couple of 3s. Let's keep moving up their light here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll move this other light up here since it's another low roll. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try to get him going somewhere. And we'll move this heavy tank up a little bit. 1. Let's see. 2. And do I want to pivot him? Yeah, we'll just go here. 3. And just leave him right there. Try to keep my tiles lined up. All right. If he's there, I do believe he can get a line of sight on him. So we're going to have our first shot. We're going to have some dice going down range towards that little light tank. All right. Just measuring it out. Lay it out like this so you guys can see that. 18. 18 and an armor of 2. That means he can penetrate him from the front. He's rolling 4 dice. If 3 dice come up 6, all he would need is at least a 2 on the other one, or some combination thereof. So he needs a 20 or higher to destroy that light tank. So we'll have him fire, see if he can luck out and get him. Now remember, I'm looking at the red numbers on the dice now instead of the blue numbers. Oh, low roll. He got a 9. So with no damage. Going back to the allies' turn. Let's see what we can get going for them. And a 4, a couple of 4s and a 5. Let's see what we get going on here. We will move this medium up over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just to get something destroyed, I'll have that light tank scream up. Just to get him blown away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll move up. What else I got? Sherman down there. Yeah, we'll move him up too. 1, 2, 3, 4. Have him go there. I can take shots that I have And unfortunately, I don't have a shot over here on this light tank. This building's blocking it. And the only shot I do have is onto him. Yeah, is onto that heavy tank up there. I don't think I can penetrate him even on my best day. Let's see how far away he is. Exactly 12. So I need to roll a 22 to be able to destroy him. I can't roll a 22 on 2 dice. So we'll abstain from any more shots. Have them go. And 6, 3, and a 4. Okay. Let's have little guy get his +1. And he will go 1 as a pivot. 2, 3, 4. So he pivoted, which does cost a maneuver. So anytime you pivot that 45 degrees, that costs a point. All right. And we'll have the medium down here go. See if he can get pinned in. 1, 2, 3, 4. This way these guys are coming in towards this medium, try to get him. And we'll move our heavy up like we've been doing. Let's see here. I need to put something down so I stop bumping these little tiles because my tablecloth's kind of slick. He's getting -2. So he'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. And he is going to take a shot. I think we should just be in range to skim the corner of that building. Yeah. He is 10 away. 10 squares away from the light tank. The light tank has a frontal armor of 2, so he's looking for 12 on 4 dice, which means that is very likely to be hit. All right, let's roll. See what he's going to get. Oh, and we will re-roll this one because it ended up cocked. And let's see, 10. Oh, yeah, he got him. 13. Boom. Light tank gets popped. We'll just set him on his side right there to signify that he is down. Yes, you do not remove the tanks. They stay there as blocking, so they'll block line of sight and be cover and all the other good stuff for the tanks. So now we got a little roadblock of a dead tank. Now, unfortunately, since they are now down a tank, they only get to roll 2 dice because they have lost 1. So they only have 4 active tanks now. So they get to roll less maneuver dice and don't get stuck in quite as often. We'll have our heavy move up by a couple and have this medium go up by 3. 1, 2, 3, which I think he's still just not far enough. If he was maybe 1 more, I might be able to try. Couple more squares I could draw a line of sight maybe, but I don't have anything that can fire. Let's see if we can get this guy a shot. Nope, that's going to trace right across the corner of that building, I think. Wait, nope, maybe? No, that's the building's still blocking it. Okay, if he were here instead of there, he'd be able to get him. All right, Nazis going again. Let's see what they're going to get. Ooh, they got a lot of maneuver. 6, 6, and a 4. All right, we're going to give this 4 to the medium. Have him scream up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And definitely going to give a 6 to the heavy so he can get at least 4 maneuver. And go 1, 2, 3, 4. And I got 1 6 left. We'll have this little light scream in. Maybe he can get something done. So he'll have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's getting point in on him. All right, time for some shots. Let's see. Does the tiger have a line of sight against him? Yeah, we're going to give it to him. Let's see, what is that? 15. 15 plus his frontal armor 15, which means he needs a 30, which I don't even think, can he roll 30? Let's see. No, the best he can get is 24. So no need to even roll. on his attack. Don't worry about that one. But we'll have little guy down here put off a shot. He's only got 2 dice, but that is what, 3? I think that's going to count as 3 squares away. Let's check it just to make sure. Yep, that's going to be 3 squares. So it's 3 plus the frontal armor of the Sherman, which is 8. So he needs to beat an 11. Meter beat an 11. He can blow that Sherman out of the water. Let's see if that Panzer 38 gets lucky. No, close. He met the armor. Got an 8. But the distance took it out of him. All right. Let's give the good guys one more turn here and let you see if we can blow that light back out of there. All right, 4 and 4. Damn, with 4, I can barely move that guy because he's getting a -3 on his movement, but we'll have him move up 1 because if the Tiger could shoot on the Churchill can shoot at the Tiger. And the second maneuver, we're going to move right up against this guy so we can blow him away at point blank. I think there might be something in the rules about needing to be at least 1 square away or something like that, but we're not going to worry about it for this. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. All right, Sherman gets to roll 3, and all he has to do is beat a 4. He can blow him out. Or a 5, I think, because he's 1 square away. All right, what's he got? Yeah, he got him. Boom. Blows him up, but unfortunately, that creates a little bit of a roadblock. He's going to have to backtrack. So that's going to screw him over, and we'll have the Churchill fire at the Tiger. The Tiger is... Can he even beat it? Because the Churchill's only got a firepower of 3 dice. Oh, and that was 14, I believe. Yep, 14. 14 plus 10 is 24 with 3 dice. The best I can do is 18. So, no. He cannot do it. If he had a firepower 4, he could do it. All right, that's it. We're gonna call it here. We've taken out a couple of light tanks, and I don't want to bore you guys watching me go back and forth over this, but this is the basics of the game. There are some other aspects to it, just to show you guys. There is a capture the flag component to the game, and just to show you, they even included little flags that you can use for capture the flag. Cutest little minis, man. I tell you what, I love these things. So you can use those, and like I said, there are other aspects to it as well. Optional rules that you can include, and this basically has to do with like superficial damage. All right, so the tank hits, but it only just barely does it. Then the tank is considered to be damaged instead of destroyed. And then there are some small black playing pieces as well. They can be used as barricades. Tanks can't move or shoot over them. So using those with the included map that you have, you could block off certain streets or further alter the map to make it even more different than it already is. Like you see, this changed up big time down here with me destroying that light tank, because now he's pinned in and he's going to have to spend a whole turn looping around, coming back out. That's going to waste some time, gives them time to maybe bring in their other medium and light down over here to get stuck in, gives them time to pull these guys around, kind of get the allied forces pinned in. Now, obviously, this game is not overly complex by any shape of the word, and some people are going to be turned off by all the tanks looking the exact same, with only colors being something that sets them apart. The big thing that I noticed, though, was the amount of gameplay that they were able to put into such a small box. The fact that they not only have the base stats, all right, so table A, just heavy, medium, and lights, but actual other tanks that you guys could use as well for each of the different forces that have their own stats, right? So like our Tiger 2 here, 20 armor. I mean, that's brutal. But as you can see, you have to pay for it. So you and an opponent, or if you want to play it solitaire, there's no reason you can't, could come up with a point limit. Well, that Tiger 2, it's got, a huge gun on the thing, fires all 5 dice, but it costs 6 points. You could get 2 jumbos for the cost of that 1 tiger. All right, the Panther costs 4, Firefly costs 3, the little Hellcat costs 2, but the little Lux down here, he only costs 1. So maybe you get 1 tiger and a handful of Lux just to run around. Although one die isn't too much. It won't penetrate a whole lot of armor. Probably need at least a couple. Ooh, that Firefly rolling 4 though. Damn, I like that thing. Although 8 armor is kind of light, especially when you start getting close. But at least that Jumbo moves faster. That Churchill with its slow -3 really just crushes it. But you guys see what I'm talking about. There's multiple different ways you can play these different tanks. 3 different stat lines that you can use. Multiple different maps included with the 12 pieces. And the fact that you can play the just flat out 1 or 2 by flipping them over or adjust it up and down however far you want. Let me figure that out, how many options that gives you. Okay, so by doing it that way and giving you the ability to kind of line things up however you want, that's a total of 4 different maps that come with it, just depending on how you set the map pieces up. And if you want and you get 2 of these, you could expand it out to the whole full thing. You know, north side, south side of the city, or, you know, however you want to set it up. Really like that you can expand it out that way. And the game is cheaper than shit. I mean, I think it's something like 10 pounds for the game. I might be wrong. I think I got this for like 12 bucks and then shipping cost, which was nothing. So the game is not overly expensive. This is a perfect one if you got a wargaming buddy you want to play with and you need something to take on the road. This one absolutely will fill that niche. Yeah, one of the biggest drawbacks being the tank minis aren't really that good. It just depends on what. I think they're cute. I like how they use the colors to differentiate things. They only had to worry about making a single plastic miniature, that they got an array of colors and then came up with a way to use it in multiple formats. I think that was really cool on their part. But like I said, this is the light, the basic version of the game. They did have that Kickstarter they did with Panzer Strike, where it was this, but much more fleshed out with actual tank minis, terrain pieces that you could put on the board, you know, something that would much more resemble a war game that we're used to. Like I said, I'm going to contact them, see if I can track myself down a copy of that so I can show the difference between this light version and the full version. So yeah, wholly recommend the game. I mean, 15 bucks. I think roughly all told is what you're going to be out. And for just the sheer amount of gameplay that you get in it. And some people wonder why they didn't go with, you know, counters instead of these little chintzy tank minis. I personally like the little tank minis, and I think those might probably be more cost effective than having actual little counters printed out. Just my thought. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they probably went better this way. Plus, I think they look neater on the board. And my kids were having a blast with this thing. I mean, as soon as they saw these little tank minis, they just wanted to play with it. So anyway, we're going to call that here. This has been Panzer Strike, France 1944, the Pocket Edition by Forsage Games. Definitely like the stuff that they're putting out. I mean, they're innovative. They're trying new things, and that's what I love seeing coming from some of these smaller, newer companies, is that they're thinking outside the box. It's not just a hex and a counter and a modifier table. You know, they're trying new things, and I like the stuff that they're trying. All right, you guys put your comments down below. Let me know what you think. I'll see you guys in the next one.